Welcome to the Downtown Madison Happenings podcast. We hear from our members to learn something new about downtown Madison. This podcast is brought to you by Carlson Black, O'Callahan, and Battenberg, located in downtown Madison. Carlson Black specializes in commercial real estate, business, and tax law. Carlson Black is a proud member of DMI and represents many DMI businesses to help build a vibrant and inclusive downtown. Speaking of building a downtown, on today's Downtown Madison Happenings podcast, we have a really important project we're going to discuss today on our new series on development projects happening in downtown Madison now. We've got the folks from Oliv, which is a new project on the 300 block of State Street, brought to us by Core Spaces and being assisted today by our friends at Vanderwall and Associates. This really is a dynamic project for downtown. We're going to learn more. We're going to see some slides. We're going to ask some questions, and we're going to have some fun, I think, as well. All during this podcast here today. So joining me, we have Rob Bach, who is the development manager with Core Spaces and a longtime friend of DMI, or at least I think so. Maybe he doesn't think so. Brian Munson, principal at Vanderwall and Associates. How are you guys doing? How's it going, Rob? How's it going, Brian?
Doing great. Yeah,
glad to
be here with you today. So excited about the project.
Well, yeah. Brian and I have something in common. I'm downtown today, but as you all remember from the winter and all of COVID, I was in this a three-season porch as well. So Brian is still in that three-season porch. How was it during the winter, Brian?
It was a little chilly, I'll admit, to a space heater use on the cold days, but it's a whole lot nicer in the summer. I'll tell you that.
It is. That's why we live in Madison for the summer. Speaking of living in Madison, we're trying to create a project here to create a lot more opportunities for people to live right downtown. Rob, let's start with you as the developer on this project. Let's talk about this project. What is it? Let's see some pictures, let's see some designs so that our members understand what you all are proposing and what you are trying to build on the 300 block of State Street.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let me share my screen here to start getting some good images going. But Jason, really appreciate the intro, and again, thank you so much for having us on today. Really excited to be able to share what we've been working on here for well over a year already. So it's been a really interesting process thus far, and we're really excited. We're kind of getting further towards the end of getting to public hearing, so we're really excited to to share this with as many people as we can, and especially with the downtown Madison folks that we've been talking to all along, but hope to reach even more through the podcast today. So what I'm sharing right now is a website we just launched about a week ago in conjunction with our formal submittal to the city for the project. So we'll be able to share the website, but it's olivmadison.com. Has a lot of information on the project, a lot of visuals that we're really excited to be sharing with everybody. Check out the renderings. We have been working with Antonovich Associates architects out of Chicago, a longtime partner of Core Spaces, and they really just did a tremendous job with this design. So I think that's one of the key elements that we are so excited to bring to the downtown area, which is just going to be fantastic. So let me switch over to our slide deck here. And before we get into the pretty pictures, I just really want to talk about kind of the 6 key elements of the project that we're really excited to bring to downtown, especially the State Street corridor there, right in the heart of downtown. So a couple key elements to the project. So we are proposing a 10-story building, approximately 386 units, a little over 1,100 beds. So a lot of new occupants in downtown, on what is now primarily a retail area, but we're adding all those beds up above that area now. So I think that's going to be one of the key elements. But along State Street is a little bit lower zoning there, so we're allowed to do 4 stories on that area, but we actually even brought that even further down to 3 stories right along straight. So really contextual, and that was really one of the keys to as we were starting the project is how do we make this building really fit in with the fabric of the downtown and be very contextual. So that was one of the key elements, really creating a strong retail presence, strong kind of streetscape presence all along State Street. So we're really excited about that. One of the other really cool things here is 3 of the facades of the existing buildings. We're actually going to be taking some of them down, repurposing some of the more critical elements, so like the limestone terracotta elements, we're actually taking those down and rebuilding those and incorporating them into our new design. So that was something we heard early on at the Urban Design Commission, from talking with neighbors and our steering committees. So we're really excited to be able to incorporate that into the design. I think it's going to be an awesome element. And kind of the third thing that we're doing is, which is actually unprecedented. It's a new concept for Madison. As we were talking very early on with stakeholders, it came up as a really important element, which is providing affordable housing in this development. And we went through a lot of different variations of what that means, but ultimately landed on how do we, since this is a student-focused project, how do we create more affordable rents for the student population that we're ultimately going to be leasing to and be part of our community. So it's been a long process going back and forth, and we're actually currently working on a partnership with the university to be able to qualify students so they can come and rent at a discounted rate into our building. So I think that's one of the coolest elements of this project. Hasn't really been done before, and we think it's sort of precedent setting going forward in Madison and hopefully in other cities as well. So that's going to be really cool. One of the other key elements is the sustainability. So we will be doing a USGBC National Green Building Standard certification on the building. So from the essentials of LED lighting, low flow plumbing, all of those elements. So we're gonna be able to incorporate that and get that certified for the building, which I think would be great, and obviously add to the sustainability of downtown. Along that, we're also going to have some really awesome exterior roof decks. So as we'll see further on, there's a lot of setbacks to the building. So we're going to be creating some roof terraces. We've got some cool images we'll be able to share. And kind of the final element is we're proposing to do a retail incubator. So we're going to take one of our retail spaces, and it'll start as just an extension for a lot of our tenants. So it'll be programming for health and wellness. We do mindful meditation type programming, but it also potentially be opened up to the public. And the groups that we're working with are looking at it as an incubator space. So if you're a Madison resident, you've got a new business concept, you're looking for support, you're looking for advice, as well as kind of mentorship and partnerships. We're hoping this space is an opportunity to foster those and really be the key connection with the community. So I think that's an element we're really excited about. So those are the key elements, but I want to just jump into the actual design. So I think that's really one of the fun parts here. But I think everyone knows the site. So we're right at Forum and State Street. So a lot of the kind of historical and local context that helped inspired our design. And unfortunately, Jeff Slisko with Engineers Associates wasn't able to join us today, but he does a lot better job of explaining his vision for the project. But I'll do the best I can. So I wanted to hit on this slide first because, as I mentioned, we've been working on this for over a year now. And a lot of that was, we really wanted to get all the input we possibly could before we made a formal submittal and move this forward. So we have done multiple meetings, informational meetings with the Urban Design Commission, with the local neighborhood groups. And in a lot of the feedback, we were able to directly input into design. So this is actually a side-by-side. So you can see on the previous side versus the current, one of the big comments we were getting was that the building was sort of feeling too massive at the street. So we went through an exhaustive effort and actually took a lot of square footage out of the building. We dropped units to make this happen. Essentially, we had internal courtyards, but now we sort of pushed them to the street side. So we're able to pull back the facades to open up those kind of call it like exterior courtyard spaces. So it really breaks down the street facades and helps to create a much more dynamic, articulated facade, brings down the massing, and really creates a nice street presence. So I think it'll be really contextual and really kind of fit in nicely. So we're really excited about all that input that we were able to implement into the project, which we're really excited about.
And I jump in there quick, Rob, in that I've seen a lot of projects get feedback from stakeholders or UDC or staff, and then make little incremental changes. This was not the case. This was basically a complete reimagining of the floor plan, of going all the way back and analyzing what was the input, what was UDC looking for, and they were really looking to divide the massing of the building into multiple forms, and then create significant step backs above the preserved facades to give them a street presence. And so when Rob kind of soft sold of saying we eliminated an interior courtyard, it was a complete reshuffling of the deck across the board to really take that to heart and to integrate the comments we were hearing and come back with a project that responds to it in a meaningful way. So, I mean, this is a great slide, just top-down view of the amount of change that happened. I mean, this was as if it was a completely different submittal, and a credit to Core and Intuitivich to taking that input and integrating that in ways that made some meaningful changes to the building. We think really great improvements, a good example of kind of the process and action resulting in better architecture. And you know, so we're excited to bring that back in front of everybody as we move forward.
Absolutely, appreciate that color, Brian. So yeah, I'll just flip to you know, some of the renderings here, and also I invite everyone to check out the website where they can go view all of these. There's a great gallery. You can just flip through, zoom in, you know, really get a feel for what we're looking at here. But you know, here's a corner at State and Gorham. This is what I was mentioning on that retail presence. We're bringing in a lot of masonry, some cool brick elements, you know, to really sort of accentuate this facade. So I think it's going to be a great retail presence, you know, really high quality, state-of-the-art retail space. You know, obviously we don't have any tenants lined up yet, but you know, as we get further on the development process, you know, we're excited to open this up to, you know, to new retailers, to restaurants, to soft goods retailers, and we look to have those conversations, and you know, hopefully, you know, through these sort of outreaches with Downtown Madison Inc., we can, you know, even, you know, hopefully reach out to additional local retailers that we can, you know, bring into our spaces. So we're really excited about that. Yeah, and here's a shot looking down, so you can really kind of see a lot of the setbacks, articulation, some of the green roof elements that we're able to incorporate up on the upper levels, which I think would be really nice. You know, this is a great view where you're seeing two of the facades that we will be reincorporating into the development. So at the ground floor will be new retail space. At the second floor will be, you know, partially units, but also some interior courtyards. So it really be, you know, pretty exciting. And even some of these elements right now, this is bricked over in the current building as it sits today. We'll actually be opening that back up to what it was kind of more historically. So you know, some cool elements to reuse pieces, but also to kind of build fresh but still kind of create the fabric and, you know, create a nice environment going forward. So I think that's, you know, a really cool element that we're able to achieve. A couple more views, and really just kind of showing how differentiated you know, the pieces are. So it does not feel like one massive building. It's you know, different parts of pieces of different buildings, you know, sort of developed over time. And here's going to be that kind of the main entrance here. Some of our amenities off the ground floor. I think it'd be a really great element. And this is from the other side. So you know, pretty great that the fire station building will remain in another facade that we'll be rebuilding on this side. As well. So, you know, very different character to this side of the building. So it's just great to be able to create that differentiation. Some more views as well. You know, a lot of that, the kind of the cool brick detailing that we're excited to be able to achieve.
So I guess the question is, I mean, these are, you know, these images. Why do you guys think this project is important, and why is it important now? Right? I mean, there's a lot happening downtown, right? We're at an inflection point in downtown. So why is this project important, and why now?
We're really excited about.
Or to Rob.
Yeah, I'll kind of jump in that we're really excited about the opportunity it brings to State Street for a lot of different pieces of support. You know, one is, as Rob said, is really continuing expanding the active streetscape. So when this gets redeveloped, not only will there continue to be great retail presence and activity along State Street, but expanding it upon Gorham, Broome, and Johnson in ways that currently doesn't exist. But moreover, the excitement to really bring another entry point for campus up to State Street in the middle of State Street, and bring 1,000 beds and residents in support of the downtown and State Street area, really as a shot in the arm, both for, you know, potential users of the downtown, bringing more people living in sustainable locations downtown that can utilize the transit, that can frequent the businesses around it, but just bring that activity in a way that, you know, really currently the site is 1- and 2-story retail uses. And so bringing residents down here in a really meaningful way is very exciting. The final piece of this is what it could help bring to the city. And that is, when we talk about the affordability program in this project, this is an affordability program that's completely self-funded through the extra height. We're not asking for TIF support. We're not asking for tax credit support, but rather we're taking the approach that by supplying the additional residents in the building, it will help us create the affordability piece. That then allows that opportunity to spin off significant tax base in support of both the city programs that need to happen. There's been discussions over the years of a State Street TIF district, which we think is a great idea, but would note that this building is only going to contribute increment and not request any funds from it. So it's exciting about the opportunity to really redevelop a key block within downtown and really just bring a lot of activity in support of all the different pieces that are happening downtown and really kind of help that revitalization and reimagining of State Street over time in ways that we're really excited about. So, Rob, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, but as we said, it's just a really great position site and really seems like the right project at the right time. It fits in the context, it supports what the city wants to do downtown and really opens up new opportunities.
Absolutely. Brian, I think, you said it all. I think that was really well put.
Well, we have a saying here, Rob, in Wisconsin. When you say Wisconsin, you say it all. But apparently, when you say Brian, say it all because he got it all right there. Okay, so one question we always want to ask is how can the DMI members, if they so choose, how can they help? How can they get involved, and what's the timeline for the process right now?
Absolutely. So I think one of the easiest ways right now is to visit our website. So it's olivmadison.com again. All that kind of visuals I shared are all on there, so you can go through our vision, values, benefits, frequently asked questions, and then but there is a get involved page. So here we're actually asking for support. So we've got a little bit of stock language here that we're hoping people sign up and kind of get into our email list, put their name against or alongside of this support letter, and that's kind of the easiest way. And then also we've got an email address there, so community@olivmadison.com. Well, that'll get directly to us. We can talk through anything, any sort of questions, concerns. Like we love to be able to kind of have additional dialogue following the podcast and some of our formal meetings that are coming up. And so we're really kind of launching all this right now in anticipation of our public hearing. So to get into where we're going, why is this important now? So we have our first formal Urban Design Commission meeting coming up in the beginning of September. So I think that's September 1st or September 3rd. And then, assuming that goes well, we'll be moving on to the Planning Commission in October, and then City Council or the Common Council from there. So Brian, you might want to get those exact dates for me, but that's kind of where we're headed in our process right now.
Excellent. So it's great to know. Go to the head of the website for more information. Well, we've got to say a huge thank you to both of you for being our guests on the Downtown Happenings podcast today with this exciting project for downtown and what could really happen on an important project on the 300 block of State Street. But you're not getting off that easy with the questions. So we're going to do the Fast and Furious 5. And I'll just ask 5 questions total to each of you that you don't know about. We'll try to make them hard. Just say whatever is on your mind. All right, Rob. You're probably spending a lot of time in Madison. What is your one favorite thing to do in downtown Madison?
Ooh, it's gotta be the lake. Love being on the lake myself. Haven't been on there, but I walked along it. Love the bike paths. So that's definitely number one.
Most people don't even know how to pronounce the word isthmus, but it is fortunate to have that isthmus, that nice piece of land. You got Lake Monona, Lake Mendota, Lake Kaganza. We could show you Wingra. There's just tons of lakes everywhere. All right, Brian, right back at you. Brian, what's your favorite thing to do in downtown Chicago where Rob lives?
Ooh, go out to eat.
Any place in particular?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's too many to just pick one.
All right, then, fine. I'll ask a harder question for you then, Brian. Brian, what's your favorite restaurant in Madison, downtown Madison?
Oh, that's tough but easy, and I'd have to go with Red.
Oh, Red Sushi, just down the block. All right, Rob, when I'm visiting Chicago, what's your favorite go-to restaurant in Chicago?
Ooh, right now, anything in the West Loop. So big fan of Girl and the Goat right on Randolph Street. So definitely check that one out. But there's always something new popping up every day. So when you come down, we'll go out for sure.
All right, I love it. Okay, last question for both of you. What is your favorite concert you've ever been to in your life?
Ooh, Brian, you start.
Oh man, Sting.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's just an amazing
You're
performer.
still thinking, Rob.
I'm gonna throw a curveball here. It was actually Taylor Swift at the United Center. It was unbelievable.
What's the first concert you've ever been to? I actually think you learn a lot about a person. Do you remember the first concert you two went to? Not together. Maybe you went to it together. That would be very odd, but maybe.
Well, I'll throw a curveball and say Itzhak Perlman.
Oh, I like that. Rob, what about yours?
Ooh.
Please say. Just say.
I want to say it was the band that used to sing "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Oh, who let the dogs out?
Oh yeah.
I can't. Why I just did that? I don't know. To be fair, I'll answer mine. It was the Minnesota State Fair. Why am I telling you people this? The Minnesota State Fair. I saw the Beach Boys with John Stamos on drums. That true story in the grandstand. Stamos was, as you can see, I'm not a drummer, but this is what he was doing, much more rhythmically than what I just did. A huge thank you to the team at Oliv. And Core Spaces and Vanderwall, to Brian Munson and to Rob Bach for joining us in today's Downtown Happenings podcast. Thank you very much for everything you're doing for Madison and for this project in particular. And also a huge thanks to our sponsors, Carlson, Black, O'Callahan, and Battenberg, for all they are doing for downtown Madison. We are very thankful. Join us next time for another interesting podcast about development and things that are happening downtown. We'll have new stories coming up soon. Talk to y'all later and have a great day now.